Welcome back, fam. Before we get into today's topic proper, if you are not yet part of this family and you're watching this video right now, up to this moment, and you have not yet subscribed, you are not part of this family, what are you still waiting for? Like, what are you waiting for? Come on and hit the subscribe button. Like, it's right down there. Subscribe. It's free. They are not paying any money. Just subscribe to this channel and help the ministry, help the journey, and let us enjoy this journey together. All right, then, let's get on today's topic real quick. Things to consider before saying I do. Yeah, if you're considering the lifetime commitment of marriage, or you already have a special your special day, you already set the date already for your marriage, or you're already engaged, then maybe you should consider this 10 pieces of advice or 10 pieces of points you need to consider before tying the knots. Yeah, you should put that into consideration. Number one, you need to live your life as a single person first. Let's face the fact. You need to enjoy life. As a single person, you need to enjoy your life. Have fun. Like, travel. Places you want to go to. Places you've dreamt of going to. Travel there. Go there. Explore. Like, enjoy yourself. Take your place on vacations. Like, try to enjoy yourself. Do things you've always dreamt of doing. Do them before you end up tying the knot, because as soon as you get married, there will be limited to things you can do. So try and enjoy your life. So it's advisable to, first of all, try to live single before you go and tie the knots. Okay, to and put yourself in the workforce. Work your ass off. Like, work, make your own money, and try to also know who you are. Try to locate your personal person, your inner self, before you get committed to someone, because before you start trying to know someone else, first of all, know yourself. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your company before you engage in managing your own company and someone else's company together. So it's very important. Try to enjoy yourself. Number 3 points, or my third point, realize people change. Yeah, people change. Always have that at the back of your mind, that people change. This point right here is tough to understand. Yeah, it's really tough to understand, except you have been there. And it especially applies to those who are saying I do at a young age, because over time people change. Even you as an individual, as time goes on, you are going to change. So the best thing you can do is to try as much as possible to know your spouse and know yourself, that in couple of years time you won't be the same person you are. There will always be something that would have changed about you, and even your spouse, there will be something that would have changed about your spouse. You guys will just learn how to manage each other, and that is very, very tough to understand. And I would say it's a time whereby people will have to come together and try to compromise and let things balance off together. So therefore, change people change due to, like, circumstances, events, different kind of influences changes people. So it doesn't really matter. Anybody can change due to anything. Anything can make people change. So be ready for that. It's very, very important. Change is constant. That's the only thing that is constant. So people change. Even me too. I change. The way I am 5 years ago is not the way I am right now. So people change. So it's very, very, very important to understand that, and always have that at the back of your mind, so you don't get caught up or get surprised in the middle of the journey. So yeah, my fourth point getting your or setting your priorities in line. This is also very important, setting your priorities in line. If you are the kind of person that, if you're a guy and you're the kind of dude that likes spending, maybe in a week, you having the boys out nights every 6 times in a week, maybe you should reconsider checking it and try to, make some amendment, make some changes before you eventually tie the knots. When you finish, and if you're a female too, and you like going to the club every weekend with your girls, going to the club, girls out nights, or what's it called, every weekend, you should reconsider setting your priorities. You need to cut down on how you go out with your girlfriends, and same applies to boys, to the men too. If you are the type that likes to, go out 6 nights, go hanging with the boys 6 nights in a week, you need to cut it out. You need to work it. Set your priorities right if you really intend on getting married to your so-called future spouse, your wife or your husband to be. You need to set your priorities in line. You need to put your spouse first. So you consider, that is where the compromise comes in. You need to shed some things away, let some things go, reduce how you go out, on how you spend the nights, and all of that stuff is very, very important if you are trying or considering saying yes I do, or tying the knot. So before saying yes I do or tying the knot, I keep saying tying the knot, it don't matter anyway, it's still mean the same thing. Before saying I do, before putting in that commitment, you need to consider good communication. Communicate with your future spouse. It's very important. I will be elaborating more on this. This point right here is the lifeblood of your relationship. If communication is not key in your relationship, there is nothing to write about. It's going to be wogo. It cannot go smoothly. I've noticed in years back, I've done my research, asked questions. In years back, what has really caused conflict? The main reasons why conflict occur is because there's minimal to no communication at all in the relationship, or there is miscommunication or flat communication in the relationship. So I would say always try to be deliberate when you are communicating with your spouse. Make your points clear, make your points known to your spouse. It's very, very important. If your communication is not good, there's going to always be conflict. There will always be conflict in the relationship. So always try to be deliberate, be tactical, be blunt with your communication. Make sure it is direct and precise. Don't sugarcoat anything for your spouse. Bring it, table it, and discuss it, and let both of you rub minds together and settle the whole thing once and for all. If it's quarrel, if it's just a normal talk, maybe family talk or thereabouts, table it and talk about it so as to reduce unnecessary conflicts in the relationship. It's very, very important. Like I said earlier, communication is the lifeblood of a relationship. If the communication is not stable, is not effective enough, then the relationship is nothing to write about. So you should consider, you should sit down and reconsider your decisions before saying I do. For example, say you are going to be running late, or maybe you will be staying out late, or something comes up. Try as much as possible to call your spouse. Hey, I'm running late, there's traffic and stuff like that. Just heads up, nothing more, but just for security purpose, just to give your spouse a rest of mind that, oh, she's okay, she's all right, there's nothing to worry about. It's very important. Little things like this goes a long way. So try as much as possible to keep your communication effective and constant. Please, it's very, very important. Back to back, always try and be effective in your communication with your spouse. Thank you. Okay, my number 6 point on things to consider, or things to, put in mind before saying I do, is respect your spouse. You can never overemphasize on respect. If it's possible, you tattoo it on your chest. Put a signboard on the wall, in your living room, in your room, somewhere. Put it there, just to always put that thing in your head. Maybe put it on your phone, on your screen, on your phone. Or I will always respect my spouse, or something to always remind you that you need to respect your spouse, male or female. You need to respect your spouse. You can never overemphasize on it. This is a very, very important issue in a relationship. Yeah, because this is something that really actually causes conflict in a relationship. If the respect is not there, there will always any relationship that you see that there's always conflict in the relationship, check it. There is no respect there. There is no respect. If there's always conflict in a relationship, there is no respect there. Not to talk of communication, there is no respect there. If there is respect, the conflict is going to be minimal or to nothing. Yeah. And even if there is going to be conflict, the conflict will not, that day will not end without them settling that conflict between them. So that shows how, or the level of respect you should get your mind and set your mind ready if you are actually going to be saying that word I do in future with your future spouse. Just letting you know. In a nutshell, respect simply means putting or considering the feelings of others, or considering others, or putting other people's feelings or thoughts, or anyhow you can put it, putting other people's feelings and needs above yours. You can't overemphasize on it. It simply means putting other people's feelings and needs above yours. If you can do that, then you will be fine. If you can do that, you'll be fine. So that is going to lead us to our next point, number 7. Never ever quit. Never ever quit. Yes. Don't go go into marriage having it at the back of your head already that if this man or this woman does this to me, I'm out. Don't have that kind of thinking in mind. If you're don't even try it, because if you're having that kind of thoughts in mind, don't even bother saying I do. So that is a very, very paramount and important thing. Don't threaten your partner with the aim of saying you are leaving the relationship, or you are packing your things and leaving. Don't do that. Don't ever think of it. And always learn to forgive. Always learn to forgive. Always have it at the back of your mind from the beginning of the relationship that you will have a forgiving spirit. There will always be conflict. So give room for forgiveness. Always give room for forgiveness. I'm not suggesting that you tolerate physical abuse or mental abuse, but in spite of all those issues, you should show or learn to forgive. Is very, 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 very important. Don't ever mention leaving to your spouse. Don't ever threaten your spouse that you are leaving, or if you do this, I'm leaving. Always have it on the back of your mind that you will never ever quit. If you can have that at the back of your mind, then you are fine. And that will be taking us to the next point. That will be leading us to the next point, which is my 8th point. Make sure you cannot live without your spouse, him or her. Make sure you can't. If it's a he, make sure you can't live without he. If it's a she, make sure she's somebody you cannot go a day without. This is very important. If you are still in the dating if you are still in the dating stage and you go a couple of days without seeing the person, without communicating with the person, even though not seeing, but like without communicating, hearing from the person at all, then I would say maybe you should reconsider your thought of saying I do. Because if you are going to say I do, it should be somebody that you cannot go a day without talking to that person or seeing that person. So if you date casually now and you can go a couple of days without seeing or talking to the person, babe, like, bro, like, are you listening? You listening to me? Maybe you should reconsider that word I do before you get into it. If you can go a couple of days without the person, it's very important. You're spending the rest of your life with somebody and you can go a couple of days with that person. Please don't do it. Yeah, like I said, don't do it, because marriage is a covenant between two best friends that end up being couple, you know. And best friend talk, best friend have conflict, best friend are fair when they are settling their conflicts. Best friends don't go a day without settling out things amicably between each other. So it is very, very important. If you can go couple of days without having any form of communication with somebody, especially if you guys have issue, or maybe you guys have a little conflict and you can go a couple of days without talking with that person, you need to reconsider that word that engagement or that I do. You need to consider it. It's a serious something. It's a serious something. You need to consider it. Yes, my 9th point on things to consider before saying I do is be prepared to give 100%. Be prepared to give 100%. You know, there's this saying that marriage is 50-50. Marriage is not 50-50. You give your all in all, your everything, your 101%. If you can say 200 and over everything percent, you are putting it on the table. You can't put 50-50 in marriage and be expecting mansions, be expecting big things. No, you put marriage is more than that. You put 100%, and same goes to the future spouse. The future spouse also will be ready to put 100% and even more. Yes, and even more. So don't even have it in mind that marriage is 50-50. If that was it, if you think you are just going to be putting 50-50, things are not going to work. Oh, it won't work. I'm telling you, it's not going to work at all. So you are going to be putting your all in all, like your 101% of you in that marriage. And same goes to your spouse. Like I said, he's going to be putting his own 100 or her own 100 plus extra. You need to put extra effort. That even 100% self is not enough. Marriage, you have to keep putting and putting and putting. You can never over put in marriage. You can never ever overdo you have to keep doing and doing it. You can't go wrong in that. So it's very, very important. 50-50, don't have it in mind. 50-50 is not going to help marriage. 50-50 is not working in marriage. You have to put everything, like put your all in all in your marriage. If not, it will crumble. Okay, the last but not the least point, my 10th point: never stop dating. Never stop dating. Like, you cannot overemphasize on it. Never stop dating. Do you remember, I mean, let me throw this question out. Do you remember the first date you have with your spouse, with your future spouse, the first date you guys had together? Do you recall how the way you were looking at him, the way he was looking at you, the way both of you were looking at yourself, how your heart was beating, bing, 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 like, oh my God, do you remember those feelings, those sensations you were having in your first date? You know how your chest was beating, biggie. You remember now? And how, you know, if you're a guy, do you remember how you were looking at her? You know, you were admiring her, and you know, you're admiring the work of God, you know, her personalities. And if you're a female too, you remember the way you were looking at him. Oh, this is he's a wonderful, gentle, complete gentleman, and all of that. Can you remember that? You know, this is very important. So our men, you don't just sit down and think you're already on the steering, so let us keep cruising. You need to always top that cruise. Always take her out. Create a date. Always, you know, put some oil, add petrol, add everything, put some spices in it. You see, make her feel loved. Tell her how beautiful she is. And if you're a lady, tell him how handsome he is. Tell him how you are blessed to have him. You know, celebrate each other. Celebrate him, celebrate her, celebrate yourselves. It's very important. You can never overemphasize it. Never stop dating. Always set a date. If it's once in every week, once in every 2 weeks, once in a month, as much as you can create room, always keep dating. Celebrate her for no reason. Just come home and be like, babe, I just bought this for you. Babe, don't worry, I don't want you to cook today. I'm going to be taking care of dinner. I'm going to be making dinner for us. It's going to be a special dinner. You know, do all those things are very, very important. Make him special. Make her special. You can never ever overemphasize on it. If you can consider all of these points, I know this small girl that is just bringing this point. I know I'm a small girl, but I'm trying as much as possible to bring out, you know, encourage people, and you know, especially our married people, and also people that are aspiring to get married in future. You know, those that are dating right now, that are thinking they are going to get married very soon. You should put these things into consideration before finally saying I do. If you can check all this list and, you know, check it out successfully and you pass everything, I think you are good to go. But if you are not, I will implore you, sit back, relax, and check yourself and see where you need to make amends. And you can never go wrong, like I said. So it's very important. Most of all, you pray and seek the face of God before you do your final decision, which is, you know, very, very important in marriage and in relationship. So that will bring me to the end of the points or things to consider before saying I do, before you tie the knot, before you get hooked up. So try as much as possible to put these points into consideration, and that will bring us to the end, of today's video. So guys, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it, like, subscribe, you know, leave your comments, you know, share my video. Help this ministry. Okay, I will see you guys some other time, and have a lovely and blessed weekend and week ahead. Bye for now.